Joined by Christine Clancy, the head coach of Washington Lee University women's basketball. They were picked number 12 in this year's preseason poll. Coach, it's your first season under the reins or with the reins of Washington Lee women's basketball. Talk a little bit about your impressions of moving from being an assistant in the program to being the head coach now.
Well, I'm lucky enough to have years experience at Washington Lee and in the ODAC, so it's not all new to me, which is making the transition a lot smoother. Luckily, I got a chance to play a pretty big role in the program last year, so it wasn't as big of a transition that way as well. But you know, when you're in that head spot, eyes are on you a little bit more. Your decisions have bigger consequences. So the good things feel better, and the losses are also you take a little bit more personally. So it's good and bad.
You returned a handful of players this year, and that includes Katie Wilson, who was an all-conference player last year. Talk a little bit about what you expect in your system from the returning players and how you want them to gel with your incoming class.
Sure. Well, we have a trio of seniors that are coming back. Katie Wilson sort of headlining that group as an all-conference player, as well as Rachel Warwick and Megan Marks. And you know, the expectations of those three that they have for themselves are really high, and my expectations for them really have to do with the leadership piece. We need them to lead us on the court, off the court, guide our younger players, especially as we get into game time now. So expectations are really high. I think all three of them are going to have outstanding seasons and really surprise some people.
I think in the early preseason, the word that you said there, guide, is a great word, especially with being a first-year head coach. Mm-hmm. Talk a little bit about the style that you want your team to play so it's in the mold of a Christine Clancy coach team.
You know, what I want from our team, there are two main areas that I want us to focus on, and that's defending teams, making them have to work every single possession to score off of us and taking a lot of pride in our defense. And then also on the offensive side of the ball, being a team that's smart, takes care of the basketball, always gets a good look at the basket every possession. And if we do those two things, we're going to be in every single game this year.
You mentioned that this isn't your first year in the ODAC. You've been there as an assistant at Washington Lee for a couple of years. So you've experienced a 20-game schedule that they played in the past that was balanced. Mm-hmm. This year, with the addition of Shenandoah as a 12 team, going to a 16-game unbalanced schedule, and all 12 teams make the tournament now as well, too.
Right.
Talk about your impressions of that. What are your feelings about that?
Well, I mean, I think it's going to be interesting, especially having a younger roster that they don't get a chance to see each team twice as we go into the playoffs. So that's going to be a little bit different for our first years. They're not going to be as familiar with the teams that we only play once this year. You know, I think it does give us a chance to play some interesting non-conference games and really get challenged outside of the league, which will only make us stronger come tournament time. So it's going to be interesting, and I think the ODAC tournament this year is going to be insane. From the playing games all the way through up to the finals, every game's going to be competitive and really. You know, we were saying in the 12th spot in the preseason rankings, and it's my complete belief that 1 through 12 could win this conference.
Well, Coach, we look forward to seeing you and the Generals on the court this season. Good luck this year.
Thank you.